So this video came about because I was trying to learn how to handle other people's toxic energy around me, and in the midst of it, maintain my own values and not feel like I am worth less if toxic energy is thrown my way, and not letting it register too much and setting a healthy boundary. The thing is, when you're coming from a place of being full and having a full life, an enriched life, these little attacks, these little sparks of toxic energy, they don't ignite. They don't cause the whole forest to burn down. They're just a little tinder. They don't catch light. It's like trying to ignite wet wood. It's not going to happen. And that's the mentality you have to take. Another issue when you're in such close proximity to people and environments, being reactive can be very damaging. It can cause to get other people's toxic energy inside of you. Being reactive can be very damaging to yourself because you let other people's toxic energy rub off on you, and then you carry that with you. That's why it's so important to be surrounding yourself with people who are positive, uplifting, inspiring. But the issue arises when you're in close proximity with people that you have to be around, that you didn't choose. Say for example, at your workplace, you might be surrounded by all these different personalities, all these different walks of life, and some of them might not agree with you. Some of them might be starkly different to how you operate your life. But it's up to you to try and remain stable and try and remain grounded in your values. I did an exercise recently where I wrote down the top 5 people I spend my time with, because I heard this quote that said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. And that sort of worried me. So I wrote a list of the 5 people I spend the most amount of time with. And one of them I wasn't really happy with. It was number 4, which was, as a whole, the people I spend time with at work. And not to say that everyone at work I hate, not at all. But at work you can be surrounded with people who aren't your friends, they aren't enemies, they're just colleagues. And you work with them and you don't really know them and you're polite. But sometimes some of these people can have very toxic traits, be it stress, be it anger, be it blame, or being unempathetic, lots of different things. And so learning how to handle different situations and different personalities is a really important skill. And as I was learning to handle these different personalities and different situations, I kept coming back to this concept of I have to just remain stable and rooted in my values. If someone says something offensive, derogatory, or even just mean and callous, that should just be a blip on my radar. You should enrich your life. And a lot of those people were just day-to-day contacts that I would see at work and never see outside of work, and they would just have a brief moment in my life. But especially nowadays where you just don't see that many people, they were becoming the majority of the people that I saw on a day-to-day basis. And so I had to learn how to start setting healthy boundaries at work with people. Take a second now or after this video and find out, who are those 5 people to you? Are you happy that those 5 people that you've written are the people you see the most and that you're the average of them? Is that something you're proud of, or is that something that worries you? So for example, when you're at work, this is an environment where there's lots of different people and lots of different personalities. Some people may have traits that you really like, and some people may have traits that you really don't like. But at the end of the day, they're your colleague and you have to work with them. So how do you do this? So say for example, someone who's being negative throws negativity at you. What do? The best thing is to just breathe through it, try and remain calm, and don't react to them. Because as soon as you react to them, you've entered their world. You've given over control to them. You've given them a pass saying, here, take this. You get to control now how I feel and how I perceive the world. So don't react, just remain calm. The second thing is, remember that this moment will pass. Whatever uncomfortable, negative, toxic experience you're going through, it's gonna pass. Just give it time and be patient. Now, it might be someone screaming at you, it might be someone swearing at you. This moment will pass, and remember that. The biggest lie we tell ourselves when we're going through something really negative and uncomfortable is that this moment will last forever and that we're always going to feel like this. But the reality couldn't be further from the truth. This moment will pass just like every other moment. Someone's spitting some venomous words towards you, you remain calm and breathe through it. Okay, so now you're asking, this is way easier said than done. It's easier said to just remain calm when someone's shouting at you. And I wholeheartedly agree. So this is the next step. Don't judge yourself on how you react. Just learn from it, right? Learn from it and then try and apply this ideal each time, but don't judge yourself if you don't achieve it each time. All right, so this is all well and good to hear and to theorize about and be like, oh, this would be perfect. I just need to be remaining calm and be this Zen guy in the corner when someone else is throwing their toxic energy or shouting at me. Okay, so that's never gonna happen. That's an ideal. How do you do this practically? Practically, you let yourself go through these uncomfortable environments and go through these uncomfortable situations. And you don't judge yourself how you react to these situations because you're still new to these experiences, right? Even if you've been experiencing uncomfortable situations, there's always going to be a new uncomfortable situation to go through. So what's really, really important is that you need to learn from these situations. And how do you do that? Okay, so practically, you do an emotional release. What is that? No, this isn't some hippy-dippy Zen mantra BS. This is really important stuff. And I encourage you to try it for yourself and see if it helps you. If it doesn't, fine, but just give it a go. It comes down to this principle that, again, is a chemistry lesson, but the first law of thermodynamics, that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Energy can only be transferred or changed from one form to another. And so what I want you to do is, if someone shouted or someone's been callous or unempathetic or mean to you, don't store that energy in you. Let it out. Let it pass through your body. So if you're feeling sadness that someone shouted at you, when you have a moment and when you're in private and you feel safe, let yourself fully experience that sadness. Let it come up, however it is to you. Let it come up and let it pass through you, because you'll notice that the toxicity builds if you resist it and if you push it down. That's when it gets worse. But if you just simply let it come up and let it pass through you, you'll feel much lighter. You'll feel happier. And that's one way that you don't react with people's opinions or things they said to you, is you just let them come up in you. You just let them pass through you. There's no travel stops here. This is a no stopping zone. Just pass through. And that's it. Not only that, but also not having judgmental self-talk and being empathetic to yourself. These things help protect you against toxic energy. So in summary, let's go over what we talked about. Other people can throw all kinds of toxic energy towards you, but your job is to not react to it, not to scream, not to shout, but just to remain calm. And if you stay on your mission and are secure within yourself, it helps better mitigate the toxic energy that they throw towards you. When you feel like your life isn't lacking something, and you feel full, that's when these little bursts of toxicity are just blips on your radar. And so you can better focus on investing your time, your energy, things that enrich you and things that bring you happiness, rather than spending all this time thinking about, I can't believe this person said that, or are they right when they say this? You get to stop wasting time thinking about those things and reliving all these things over and over in your head.